Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Karen Curry Parker, and I'm excited to talk to you this morning about a, a dialogue I've been having in my head. So I thought I would open it up to a dialogue here with you guys. We've been talking a lot, and if you've been watching the news, and maybe you have been avoiding the news, we've been talking a lot about breaches in privacy and Facebook and social media and business and drivers that maybe created a series of what I might call confused or maybe misguided choices around business. And I thought this would be a great place to sort of start this dialogue about how can we consciously evolve our economy so that the nature of how we do business continues to be, of course, profitable and sustainable, because you can't go into business if you're not creating a sustainable level of support for yourself. But that also includes with it the possibility that business could be more than just a way to make money. When we think about the economy and the nature of how the economy is changing, and we look at it in the context of consciousness and science, and we start first with the old way of doing business, which is rooted in what I'll call Newtonian consciousness. Newtonian consciousness is rooted in the teachings of Newtonian physics, which is very, very materialistic, right? We make movement in the world through our efforts, and the efforts produce material gain. And so traditional business has been very Newtonian, right? You go to work, you work hard, you make money, our material gain. And we have that making money as the driver, the reason why we go into business. We go into business to make money, right? Or we go to college to make money, or we do whatever we do to make money. That has been traditionally the driver in business. And certainly when we look at some of the stuff that's been shaken out on your CNN news page with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, and some of the little messages from the past that you've seen posted or memos that you've seen posted, I think it's pretty clear that the decisions that were made at Facebook, and it's not exclusive to Facebook, I would say this is probably every single business on the planet, más o menos, the decisions that Facebook made about data and sharing data was driven by a desire to be profitable, to make a profit, to make a financial profit. Now, before some of you drop into that knee-jerk sort of gut reaction around, "Ooh, that's bad," it's not bad. That's what business has been about. That has been the manifestation of our old consciousness, right? We go into business to create material goods or material gain, profit. And business, again, to be successful, needs to generate profit. The conversation that I started a couple of weeks ago was about what if we change the drivers in business from being profit to being something different? If our consciousness is evolving, and as a result of the evolution in our consciousness, and I would say there was a hallmark in our shift in consciousness in the 1920s with the emergence of quantum physics. Quantum physics, or the discovery of quantum physics, really heralded the manifestation of a new understanding that was a reflection of our shift in consciousness. We emerged into the beginning of quantum consciousness. And quantum consciousness says we create based on the frequency of energies and the vibrations that we hold, and we create based on our ability to focus, to observe, and to notice. Because what quantum scientists discovered, or quantum physicists discovered, is that matter and the components of matter change their behavior when we observe them. And it's our observation of the particles of matter, or our observation of the world, that changes or creates our experience of the world. This is quantum consciousness. Quantum consciousness says when we go into business, the new world of business, the quantum economy, is now not successful based on the amount of effort that you put into it. And I don't know how it is for you guys. I've done business coaching for 28 plus years. And I will honestly tell you, I have never met a lazy client. I have never met a person who is quote unquote unsuccessful because they didn't put the effort into it. I have done nothing but coach people who have put tremendous amounts of effort into their business, sometimes not successfully, because it's not the amount of effort anymore. It's not the amount of sheer physical, mental, emotional effort anymore that creates. That's old consciousness. That's Newtonian business. That's the model where the driver for business is profit. In the new economy, in the quantum economy, the driver for success becomes well-being. How much well-being can you create in your business? How much well-being can you create for yourself to sustain you so that you can continue to do your business with heart and soul and passion, so that when you wake up in the morning and it's time to go to work, you do it with all of your being and with all of the excitement of being present to your business and that place of service that is your business? It's also well-being for your clients. You go into business because you want to create the currency of well-being in the world, which is the currency of the new economy. And you use your power of creating well-being in the world to increase the well-being of the people around you, because the more well-being we create in the world, the greater things we create, because creating now is not about effort. It's about establishing and increasing and sustaining and maintaining and growing and increasing and maintaining and sustaining the frequencies that we want to see on the planet, including the frequency of well-being. It also becomes your business, or the driver for your business also becomes not only to create well-being for yourself and well-being for your clients, it also becomes using your business as a hub of well-being for your community. So that not only are you adding to the good of your clients and taking care of yourself, but whatever you're creating is also creating something sustainable and enduring in your community and in the world around you. And that the source of the direction for that business comes from not where's the money, where's the money, where's the money, which can sometimes knock us off course in lots of other ways, but it becomes, how can I serve, how can I serve, how can I serve? And from that place of service, how can I be sustainable in the service that I give? Now, I want to show you this. I want to show you a couple of little things, because I want to show you how this looks in the human design chart. And I want to talk just a little bit about business, and I want to talk about Facebook, because I've seen a lot of posts in the last couple of days about people being really angry with Facebook. And I, first of all, don't think we can be angry with Facebook. Facebook was doing what they thought they needed to do to make money, like any other business, in an old consciousness. And I will say that if you really listen to the things that Mark Zuckerberg has been saying, particularly in the last 6 months, he really has been saying, look, we need to make this a platform for how Facebook, how we connect and improve our connection, our community with each other. I don't hate Facebook. I know a lot of people who do, and I know a lot of people who are bailing on Facebook because they feel like it's a distraction. I will tell you personally, I've had tremendously beautiful experiences on Facebook. I have, every day, I get to witness photos of newborn babies with people who start their families, and they're sharing the joy of starting their families in the world. Recently, a friend of mine's sister passed, and I got to witness her journey through her grief and what she learned from this grief. And I got to see all the love and support that came at her as she went through this beautiful transition and transformation in her life, and to sort of keep tabs on the beginning of her healing process. You know, I get to see, what are people creating? I get to see people's opinions and ideas. I get to see the insides of people's offices. I think it's a powerful platform for connecting with each other, provided that you're not connecting because you're distracted from, or you're using Facebook to distract yourself from those places where you're out of alignment with your authentic self in other areas of your life. If you're going to Facebook because you're lonely and you are avoiding maybe the truth that your life might not be working for you, or if you're going to Facebook because it's hard for you to be present to the people in your physical world, in your kitchen, because you question your own value or your lovability. If you're going to Facebook because this becomes a place where you can maybe express inappropriate power in the world, that's not Facebook's fault. That's you finding creative and innovative ways to avoid perhaps the places where you need to go deeper inside yourself, maybe away from technology, maybe in a forest somewhere, so that you can get realigned with the heart of who you are. That's a different aside. I think when I listen to what Mark Zuckerberg has been saying, that I think his intentions and his desires to evolve this as a platform of community and connection are there. And I think that we have to look at all of these platforms, including social media, as being a big giant experiment. What the human design chart shows us is that anytime we have evolution, anytime we have a surge and a mutation, a change, which is crucial for the evolutionary process, we have this giant leap forward, and then we have kind of a half a leap back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? It's in that 2 steps forward, 1 step back process, that conservatism of being pulled back, that we discover what works and what doesn't. And then we take the elements of what works and then we adapt it into our culture. This whole surge in computer connectivity and Wi-Fi and social media and all of this stuff we've done in the last 10 years has been a big, giant step forward, a huge evolutionary shift, right? We're being pulled back, but not all the way back to where go to the beginning. We're being pulled back in that half step because now we're looking at, okay, what worked and what didn't in this experiment? And how do we use this experiment, find what worked in this experiment, and create and grow those aspects of it so that we can use these platforms in particular, I think, to find more delicious and beautiful and powerful ways for us to connect. Think about some of the important things that have happened here on Facebook. Think about revolutions and communication that has happened as a result of social media that has increased the capacity and momentum at which we've been able to get things done. I would gently and lovingly say that these kids who have organized themselves around the theme of gun control in the last month have been able to do it as expeditiously as they've had and as effectively as they've been able to do it because of social media. And that social media can become a vehicle for change. So I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I want to bring it back to the economy for a minute because I want to talk about where maybe this went wrong and how we can start working collectively to make this right and how we can start shifting some of the nature of business. So when we look at the human design chart and we look at the energy for economics in the chart, we see that there are 4 key or core components to healthy, empowered quantum economics. And those 4 components are the economy or business is responsive, meaning you don't just pluck an idea out of the ethers and go out and make it happen. It has to be in response to something in the outer world, something where there is a need. And to be successful in business, you have to be meeting a need. And this is actually a big piece that sometimes people miss with their business. They get so in love with what they want to do with their business, they forget to look at, oh, hey, is there a need for this? So it's responsive. Your business or the economy looks at what's necessary out here. The second component in an evolved economy is that your business or business in general has to give value and direction. Okay? There is heart in business. And in fact, the heart of business is what gives value and direction in business. Then the third component has to be value, and the direction has to be transmitted. It has to be shared. And of course, social media is a powerful way to do this. There are, of course, lots of other mediums to do this too. It's not the only way, it's just a way. And I'm sure as we continue to evolve, we'll have even more innovative ways where we transmit direction and value and give direction and value from the heart of who we are in response to needs. And lastly, the quantum economics or quantum economy has to be inspirational. It has to inspire. And here's why. The energy of inspiration is the most creative energy out there. And it's being inspired. It's taking that divine breath in of ideas, of those sparks, those possibilities. It's the capacity to think in an inspired and possibility-inspired way that actually allows us to leap over our conditioning, leap over sometimes what we believe is impossible, and tap into the quantum field in a very beautiful, very unlimited way and pull back into our reality a seemingly impossible but incredibly inspired reality. Inspiration is a key to creativity. And certainly when we look at the challenges facing us in the next 10, 15 years, we're going to have to be, as a species, phenomenally creative. And personally, I believe that we are standing on the edge of an incredibly powerful creative evolution or a creative revolution. And that being inspired and staying inspired is going to be crucial for us to tap into our true creative capacity. Now, let's look at the heart of business. Again, going back here, if you see, the heart of business is in the G center and in the will. This is the place where we give value and direction with the work that we contribute to the world, with the place where we serve. When we look at the nature of what is entailed in sharing love and direction and inspiring people to grow in their capacity to live love and take a direction that's aligned with love, what we see is that part of the quantum economy is calling on us to inspire people to love themselves, to inspire people to become empowered, to inspire people to make their unique contribution to the world, to inspire people to let go of the past so that they can move forward in a brand new way with forgiveness, to inspire people to become more deeply connected to source so that they can serve better, because service is a key part of the quantum economy, to inspire people to become vital and physically embody the nature of the essence of who they are, to inspire people to be receptive to support so that they can allow themselves to create and receive at greater levels than perhaps they've allowed themselves to create and receive at before, and to inspire people to become more compassionate and more engaged in the fellowship of humanity. Again, if you think about Facebook and social media, yeah, there's definitely some bugs that need to be worked out, but there's so much possible in these social media platforms for us to grow in these areas. Think about what's in your feed. Think about the messages that are in your feed. Again, I don't know what's in your feed, but I'll tell you, in my feed, it is story after story, post after post that is about inspiring people to be more than who they think they are in this incarnation. Let's go down to the second part of the heart of the quantum economy. This is the place where we make profit. The will center is the center for converting value into the material plane. And it's definitely a place where things can get really bungled up and messy, because the will center is not only willpower, it's also ego. It can be egotistical or self-focused or narcissistic, but it can also be transcend the personal self and to harness the power of the personal self with the energy of divine to create value in the world in an expansive way, right? But it gets, as I said, it gets messed up here. This ego center, the will center, the place where we turn that direction and value into physical form, sometimes money. When we look at the nature of the energy that fires up this center, what we see is, in its highest expression, the purpose of the will, the heart, is to, number one, create value that's based or rooted in truth and integrity. And here's the kicker, and this is the piece about the center that's so, so important. This center has the potential to be sustainable. This is the place where we can create sustainably, meaning it's an enduring, sustainable quality of value that lasts over time, okay? If we are out of alignment with truth and integrity, particularly under the celestial weather influences that we are operating under right now, if we're out of truth and integrity, we can't create sustainable value. It will come back up and bite us in the butt if we're not careful. So honestly, part of what I think has happened here with this whole Facebook data breach thing is that there was a compromise in truth and integrity. And that compromise in truth and integrity is now showing us that, hey, that's not sustainable. You can't keep doing that. That's not okay. And it will impact the value. It will impact the material value of the business. And ultimately, if you're not careful, it will impact the value of what you're here to give to the world. And we'll begin to question your value. So your business and the quantum economy has to create value and will create value that's sustainable only when it's aligned with truth and integrity. Meaning, any business from this point on that is out of alignment with truth and integrity, it might take a little bit, but I will predict here in my studio that any business that's out of alignment with truth and integrity is not going to be sustainable. And we will see continued collapses of businesses that are not sustainable because they are out of alignment with integrity. Number two, we see through the 2551 that the value of business increases exponentially when we surrender our personal will and we allow ourselves to serve humanity through the value we give with our business. So when you stay in a place of surrender to the guidance of spirit as source, and you recognize that spirit is the source of your energy and the source of the value you give, and that you are here to serve as a vessel for spirit as part of your business, you will exponentially increase the sustainability and the value of your business. When we go down to the bottom, we look at the 4037, which connects the will center down to the emotional solar plexus, the channel of community and connection. We see that business becomes sustainable and it adds greater value to the world when it creates community and connection. And again, Facebook has the capacity to do that, I think, in quite a beautiful way if we do it with consciousness and awareness. So a business, a good, healthy quantum business, not only operates with truth and integrity, not only serves spirit, but also creates community and connection. And then last, but definitely not least, through the 4521, it creates sustainable support. And it's sustainable support that isn't just about taking care of yourself as the owner of your business. It's about sharing what you create in the business. I'm not talking communism here. I'm saying what you create in your business, the energy of well-being that you create in your business, is energy that you are, by virtue of being involved in quantum business, you are designed to use that to increase the well-being of others, to share the well-being that you have with the world. Recognize when you have enough, when you are sufficient, and use the power of compassion and your own sustainable energy to increase the sustainable energies of others. This is, of course, a much longer dialogue, but I just, as I said, I was really just thinking about this morning, that, what's coming up for us right now is really quite beautiful and I think quite profound, frankly, because I think what we're seeing is a wrestling, a step back that's causing us to wrestle with a more intentional, conscious, forward momentum with what we're creating in our businesses and how we're creating in our businesses. And certainly, I would invite you, as we go through this huge shift and we start really rethinking, why are we doing what we're doing and what's the root of why we're doing what we're doing? I would invite you to really consciously embrace the understanding that if you are in business, you are here to be in business to increase the well-being for yourself and for others. If you're not in business, for you to look at where are the businesses in the world that are increasing the well-being of others, and to support those businesses, consciously and deliberately seek those businesses out and support them so that they can continue to stay sustainable during this time of shift. And to make sure that when you're looking at a business and valuing it, make sure that it's a business that's aligned with truth and integrity. Make sure that it's a business that has a desire to serve. Make sure that it's adding to the community and increasing the well-being of the world around it. And lastly, remember that this is a weird thing. I didn't talk about it, but it's part of the chart too. It's part of the heart of the chart. Compassion, I think, is the invisible hand in capitalism. It's not government rebalancing of cycles. It's recognizing that I have enough. My business has enough. I am enough. And because I am enough, I can share what I have in places where perhaps people don't have enough. And to use that energy of compassion to inspire yourself and others to continue to be generous in the world, so that we literally become rising tides that lift all boats, so that we can continue to raise the frequency of energy, raise the frequency of the economy on the planet. And so that business becomes a beautiful and empowered and sustainable place of service in the world. All right, those are the musings of my mind this morning. Thank you for listening to me. Have a wonderful and blessed day. And stay tuned tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central, the Quantum Alignment Show right here. We're going to be talking about how to find life purpose, your life purpose in your human design chart. So show up, bring your chart. If you have a copy of my book, Understanding Human Design, bring that with you because you'll want to look up some of the gates. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.